Since we share our computer with other students throughout the year, when you first open Adobe Illustrator, you may notice that there are a lot of different palettes and tools open and strewn out all across your screen. In order to work effectively, we need to make sure our work area is nice and clean and we can find the tools that we need. In order to clean up your work area, simply go up to the Window drop-down menu, go down to Workspace, and then choose Essentials as your workspace. Upon selecting that, you'll notice that all the windows and palettes and files are instantly cleaned out of your way, so you can see your artboard, you can see your tools, and all your palettes on the left hand side have been minimized. Now we can begin working. Let me first show you how the tools and palettes operate. As you work with your tools on the left hand side, you'll notice that everything you need is in one single column. So if I was to ask you to select a tool, whichever tool is highlighted or pressed in is the tool that you have currently selected. To select another tool, it's simply a matter of clicking once on the tool that you wish to use. Notice now that I have my pen tool selected. If you'll look very closely at the bottom right hand corner of some of the tools, there's a small little triangle. If you see that triangle, you can click and hold on the tool's icon and it will pop out and actually give you additional tools you can choose from. These tools are usually associated somehow with one another. For instance, this is our rectangle tool. It's used to draw rectangles. But since it has the little triangle down at the bottom, if I click and hold, I can also choose different shapes that we can quickly draw from, such as an ellipse or rounded shape tool, polygons, or stars. If you wanted to move the tool palette around, it's simply a matter of clicking on the top dark bar and dragging it to where you need it to be. Once you release, that tool palette will stay where you've put it. Additionally, you can double click on this palette and it will minimize and shrink up your tool palette, thus giving you a little more space down at the bottom. I usually like to keep this tool palette to the far left hand side of my screen. If we'll turn our attention to the far right hand screen, these are our palettes and they're minimized down to their smallest icon. You'll notice if we mouse over them, you'll get the name of the palette. So if I ever ask you to find a palette to choose from, you can quickly see what name it is. Additionally, you can double click on the dark bar at the very top of these collected palettes and it will expand them out so you can see what they look like. I'm going to double click again and bring it down to its small icon view. I'm going to click and drag this out because there's one more view you can have with this palette menu. If you'll move your mouse to the very right hand side of it, you'll notice the icon will change to a double arrow. If I now click and drag, not only do you see the icon, but you can see the name of the palette as well. This is the way I prefer to work, so I can have the most amount of space to see my artboard while also quickly having access to the palettes that I like to use most frequently. I'm going to move it back over to the right hand side. If you ever need to access a palette, it's simply a matter of clicking on the palette you want, such as the colors, and now I can quickly choose and slide the color around. Or I can also click on the swatches and select some pre-made custom colors. We have different brushes to choose from. Notice that some of these have a scroll bar so you can scroll down and see more options. Additionally, you can see the names of other palettes that are grouped together in the pop-out menu. So if I click on the symbols, you see the symbols is chosen, or the swatches. All of these are grouped together. If I wanted, I can click on the name of a palette and drag it out, and then I can have this palette stand alone, separate from all the others that are collected. So now when I click on the name of the palette, it'll pop out, or double click on the bar, it'll be popped out and it'll stay open without closing up every time I select another palette. So if say I wanted to have my swatches palette open and I wanted to have my brushes palette open, I can have both of them open at the same time in this manner. Again, to do that, we're going to click on the name of our palette, drag it out, and then release. And then when we click on the dark bar at the top, it'll open up and it'll stay open for as long as we need it. If we want to return our palette back to the Collected Palettes menu, it's simply a matter of clicking on the dark bar and dragging it till it drops. Notice that it'll give an outline around the collection that you want to add it to. So I want to add it just above the symbols. When I release, now my brushes are part of the symbols again. If I wanted to add my swatches back to this top menu, I'm going to click on the dark bar, drag it till it's outlined, and then release, and now my swatches are back on this menu palette as well. Sometimes you'll need to select a menu palette that's not available on the right hand side. In order to do this, it's simply a matter of going to the Windows drop-down menu, and this will give you a collection of all the palettes that Adobe Illustrator has to offer. If there's a check mark by that menu, that means that menu palette has been opened. So for instance, the Tools has a check mark beside it because our Tools palette is open. But if I wanted to see my Actions menu, it doesn't have a check mark. So if I click on it, my Actions menu will open up, usually towards the middle of our screen. We can then drag it over away from our artboard and continue working from there. If you want to close out a menu or a palette, you can simply click on the top left-hand corner button and it will close it out.